What's up, everybody? Shawn here with another Live to Roll live. I have to adjust that screen here in a second. But we are back again this Tuesday with an awesome topic of the Abilities Expo. So let's just get into some quick intros and then we'll get into our topic. You guys know me, I think. I'm Shawn, C5, C6 quad from a snowboarding accident 18 years ago now. Go ahead, Tom.
What's up, everybody? I'm Tom Conaway, C5, C6 quad as well. I've been paralyzed for 24 years from an automobile accident, and yeah, just living the quad life out here in SoCal. Toss that over to Bobby.
Thanks a lot, Tom. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another great edition. I'm Bobby Rohan, C5, C6 quadriplegic, 32 years ago. And let's introduce our returning guest, Julian Delara from our Abilities Expo.
Hi, everybody. Yep,
Hi,
I'm
Julian.
Julianne. Let's see, T12. I guess I'm the only para here. So T12, 25 years ago, from transverse myelitis. Known all of these guys really since they were injured, except Bobby. He's older than I am. So, and I work for Abilities Expo, have done for the last almost 10 years. So I'm here to answer your questions about the LA Expo that's coming up March 4th, 5th, and 6th at the LA Convention Center. And also to tell you all about it, whatever you need to know. So,
Also,
guys,
Awesome.
I think you can,
We appreciate you
I
being
think
here,
you can
Julian.
mention also the other cities.
Go ahead, Bobby. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
Oh, no, that's all right. I was going to say Julianne's also an expert on all the other cities for our non-LA people and where they can go to their closest one. So if you have questions during the broadcast today, ask Julianne. She can answer your questions about other cities, more than just LA.
Definitely.
yeah,
And I was
let
just
me
going to
run
say
through the cities
something.
real fast.
Yeah.
So we start out the year with LA in March, and then we go to New Jersey, which is the second oldest of the shows. New Jersey is April 30th through May 1st. Then we go to Chicago, June 24th, 4, 5, and 6. Then we are in Houston in the height of August, where it'll be, if it's a typical year, it'll be 100 degrees temperature and 100% humidity, just for fun. Let's see. After that, we go to, we debuted Phoenix last year, and it was our biggest debut show ever. It was a great show. So it's actually in Scottsdale, Arizona. And then we go to our debut for this year. We've never been in Florida before. So we're debuting Miami in November, November 4, 5, 6. And then Dallas is always right before Christmas. So this year, Dallas is December 2, 3, and 4. And then for anybody who's up in Canada, we also have a show in Toronto in May. And I'm not quite sure of the dates. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's
Toronto. That's cool. That's gonna be a fun one. Going international. Something exciting is Lift Roll is going to be at a few of these shows. We're going to be at the LA Expo coming up here at the beginning of March, and we're also excited to say that we're going to be in Chicago in June, in Houston in August, and when is the
Phoenix is
Phoenix?
September.
September.
Phoenix is September 11, 12, 13, I think.
So, yo, if you want to come, we're going to be doing like live from the Abilities Expo. We're going to have a bunch of merch. We're going to be talking and hanging out, partying after the expo, checking out a bunch of awesome, cool technology and a bunch of cool companies and stuff. So, it's really exciting. And we're going to be documenting the travel process and, showing how we do all that too, which will be really fun and cool and exciting for me. I've never been too far away from California, so it'd be really, really awesome to venture out to Chi-Town and go visit some of our other literal fam out there. Uh, so let's talk about the Abilities Expo a little bit, Julianne. Can you tell us about how long it's been going, how it got started, kind of the mission behind the Abilities Expo?
Oh yeah, it's something that most of us can relate to. The guy, his dad got into a wheelchair. This was 1979, and he couldn't find any kind of one-stop shopping for all the stuff his dad needed. So he said, "Well, I guess I better invent one." And he was in Southern California, and he started the LA Abilities Expo. And for it was so popular that there was demand to have it in other locations. So for the longest time, it was just LA and New York, LA and New York, back and forth, just those two shows. Then he sold the show off to another company who started expanding it to some other cities. And I'm not quite sure which company that was, but they did it for a while. They didn't grow it extremely well. So in 2008, these two guys, Lou Schomer and David Corse, decided to buy it themselves. And they had their first show that they branched out, their first new show was to be in Minneapolis. And as they tell it, it was a total disaster. Nobody came. The exhibitors were all like, don't know how to do this. And they said they almost gave up, but then they started expanding to places like Chicago. It's actually in what they call Chicagoland outside of the actual town. And Houston has been one of our oldest shows after the LA and New York shows. See, Houston and Chicago, I think, are our oldest. For a while, we did Northern California, but couldn't get enough audience there. So we will spend 3 years in any new location. And if we can, as much as break even, we'll stay there. If we're losing money, we got to go find another city. So, as you
Yes.
guys probably know, the admission is free for the Abilities Expo. So, in order to attend, you just got to come, and it's free for everybody coming in. So, in order to do business and keep afloat, we've got to get exhibitors because that's the only money we've got coming in. So, if you have any ideas for exhibitors or products you'd like to see at any of the expos, please put it in the chat because we're here for you.
So, Julianne, what makes the Abilities Expo so
Oops.
special?
Crap.
What makes it successful?
Sorry.
So special. So special.
Uh, well, there really is nothing like it. As the guy who started it says, it's one stop shopping, but it's also, you know, how we all become a family. So it's a great social event. They that you come in at least once a year, you'll get to see all these other people that you learned with, grew up with. Also, one of the things that is difficult sometimes when you're in a wheelchair or when you have a new disability, you kind of feel like you're outside of the norm. So when you go to the Abilities Expo and all of a sudden the able bodies are the exceptions to the rule, it's really a good feeling. You feel like this is the place where you finally belong. So socially, it's really extraordinary that way. It's also, it's you can see what the latest and greatest is, what has been invented since the last year when you were there. All the different companies that are showing their new products and their tried and true products. You can touch them, feel them, try them. You know, if it's a bed, you can lie down on it. If it's a wheelchair, they'll let you try it and drive it around the hall, or a scooter or a bike, anything like that. What the exhibitors all tell me that of all the trade shows they've done, ours is the most warm and fuzzy. It's a good feeling being there, don't you think, guys?
Yeah, it's funny the way you describe it. It's like so perfect, and I would like describe it more as like a con than like a trade show, because that's what it kind of feels like. It feels like a Comic Con for like the disabled community. You get to like go check out cool stuff. Like, a bunch of people travel from all over, and you see a lot of people just from your community that you can really connect to. And that I've only had the opportunity to attend probably last, I think, 4 years. And then I, so I went like 2 or 3 years before COVID. And then, yeah, I think I've only been 3 times officially. But every time it's been great. Every time I went like multiple days and had a cool time. The equipment and the products that are on display, the cool stuff you find, the unique things that you discover that you maybe didn't realize existed that were out there is like really cool and fascinating. And it's awesome that it's all just in one big convention center. So, you're not traveling all over the place and talking to, 100 different businesses or companies. They're all just kind of there, showing off for you. My favorite part has always been like the cars and the travel stuff, which is really really cool. And it's fun to go like check out the wheelchairs too. Like I really love like seeing what's coming out, from like the new companies and stuff. And it's their chance to like show off and showcase too. They're like trying to sell and make their stuff look good. So they really do kind of break out like the bells and the whistles and like the really cool stuff. The very cutting edge, the brand new. So it's like really fun and exciting. And I've always loved, just like you said, the community there. It's a party. I mean, like you're just socializing all day long. You're going like from one person you recognize, another person you recognize, like friends and family, and then you all hang out at the hotel afterwards. Have dinner and party and stuff, and a lot of fun. Um, but yeah. How about you, Bobby? What's your experience been like at the expo?
So, I have just a few more than you, Tom. I've probably been to about 30 of them, and probably about for 5 years, I got to go to every city of all the different abilities expo. So I've been to the Chicago, I've been to the New Jersey, I've been to Boston, I've been to Houston. You name it, I've been there. When we had in San Mateo, actually, I used to love San Mateo. That was a
Me
fun one,
too.
Julian.
Yeah.
Especially or when we were in San Jose too. That was it just I like that Expo Center. But Boston is my favorite because it's Boston, and the city at night is a lot of fun. But it is, I have two communities when it comes to the Abilities Expo. One is, especially in LA, getting to see all the people I've met through the years, and then also the exhibitors. I get to know them a lot, so it's like a reunion every time we get together. It's great going out at night. Um, one thing, Julianne, a good question in our chat from our good friend Andrew. He's like, there needs to be an Abilities Expo in the UK. And Celtic Bear also said, and we can touch on that in South Carolina, but let's try UK first. Has there been any talk about bringing it overseas? Because there are a lot of different products, especially if you go to the UK, that when I'm looking at products, I'm like, that looks amazing. And then I'm like, oh, it's going to cost like $200 to get here. So has
Yeah.
there been talk by Lou and the guys about going overseas?
Well, we did once upon a time. We did try a show in Singapore. It was a joint show with another company,
That's right.
and although it was amazing at seeing all the people there, and there was such a big need among the people who lived around there and who came, never seen anything like it. Just financially, it's hard to swing. In the UK, oh, I would love it if we went over there. The closest thing they've got over there is Reha Care, and that's in Germany. And that's take the LA Expo and multiply it by three. It's
Well,
huge. Um, but and I've never been there. I'd love to go. But from what I hear, it's more of a focus on the actual equipment and being there for the vendors Whereas the focus of the Abilities Expo is definitely on the attendees. We're there to serve whatever you guys are interested in and education. We should talk a little bit about what workshops and speakers we have too, because all of that is free
Absolutely.
once you're there.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Um,
Do you want to touch on that a little bit? What I mean, just for example, like what are some of the workshops and speakers at LA going to be this year? If that
Well,
you answered.
um, if you look on our website, go to abilities.com and
Okay.
click on LA, and you'll see there'll be something there that says workshops. And there are different workshops every day. I think there's about 5 a day. Let me look. So, for example,
Nice.
let's look at Friday. We have planning for families with special needs kids. We've got accessible home design. Usually, the Paralyzed Veterans of America do that one. They do a great job. This is a new one. We've got music therapy so that should be an interactive type thing. And then our two most popular workshops every single year are sex and medical marijuana. No big
Heck
surprise. So let's see. Sex is 3:45 on Friday, and and travel. Travel's another big one. So looks like we've got ooh, here's a neat one. Making mindfulness meaningful. This is
oh,
somebody from Christopher Reeve Foundation. That's on Saturday, as well as Back to Cannabis on Saturday. And then we always have travel people. So it looks like Ashley Lynn Olson's going to be doing one 3:45 on Saturday, and she's great. Um, Oh, and then on Sunday, there's a workshop with this great organization called Help Hope Live, and the title is their workshop is How to Pay for Everything You See Here Today. Because they'll have a booth there, and what they do is they help an individual put together a fundraising plan. Whether it's GoFundMe or through your church or whatever. They have links to all these different organizations, so they're really helpful. And then again on Sunday we've got service dogs. That looks
Oh,
like
that's
that's at 2:15. So
and
that's
what's nice
just
about that one is Service Dogs Will It Work for You? Because I just thought that was a great title in the sense that people often get a service dog and then find out this is a lot of work. And I try to talk to people like, make sure you know the work. And there is a lot of work. There's a lot of love and a lot of fun things about it. But I thought that was just great.
yeah. Um, so when you come into the Abilities Expo in LA, into the convention center, go through registration, and all the way to your right, you'll see a sign that says workshops. And in that top right corner, also where the restrooms are, by the way, there will be a little area, and that's where everything I just read off, that's where that will be held. Then in the back of the hall, the very back, will be you go from registration, go straight back, and that's where the food is, and that's where the events arena is. Now, the events arena, there's a whole other schedule of adaptive sports. That's where the Rolettes will be doing their
yeah.
dancing and all of this stuff. They will do an exhibition for you, and then you get to jump in and try it. So I said everything's set up for us. The attendees. That's the whole reason that everybody's there.
Yeah, it's all super
Definitely.
interactive and fun for everybody. A
It's so
lot to do.
sex, travel, and marijuana are the three most popular topics on our show too. So
I was gonna
there,
say we talk about those a lot on our show too.
there you go. In the chat, I want to just touch on and thank everybody that's participating in the chat. Everybody that's here. There's that 19 of us watching right now. If you guys could all go and hit that like button, I really appreciate it. Really helps out the channel. And make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Um, but Lewis in the chat. Mentioned a couple of things that they might like to see at the expo. There is a show called NIDEX in the NEC. not really sure what that is.
NEC is a part of uh, it's a part of the industry. Oh man, I've been to one a long time ago when we were specking out products. Maybe they can explain it more.
Yeah, I think they're just talking about some other shows, other expos out there. But then they also recommended adaptive clothing. That's I have seen
Thank you,
that
Lil.
um, the expo before. I've seen a few different companies with different kinds of adaptive clothing for kids and for adults. Adaptive clothing is like a fun topic I like talking about. I'm always trying to make regular clothes adaptable for my life.
Me too.
But it's kind of an adventure. And I'll tell you what, like, I have found like jeans and stuff with like, different bottoms that like are easier and like more slippery to transfer with and stuff, but still look like jeans. Just things like that. Cool, different ideas for stuff that can allow you to, dress how you maybe don't normally and still be comfortable. So that's an awesome recommendation. Are there going to be any adaptive clothing companies at the expo this year?
Oh, we always do. Um, one of the new ones is Friendly Shoes, and if you haven't seen Friendly Shoes, definitely check them out. They have all different styles, but mainly the way they do it is they'll have a zipper on the side that will open up like this,
Oh,
or
I've
a
seen
zipper in the
those.
back, so it'll open up like this, or in some of their styles they have both, which is a big deal for me. I hate trying to get my foot into a shoe and then straighten my toes out because it's impossible. So Friendly Shoes is there. They are great, and most of this stuff is pretty. You can buy it there. There's a
Yeah,
lot of stuff that you can just pay right there and take it home with you.
Yeah,
Um,
and a lot of
there's
the companies
also
have like the show deals and discounts, and stuff. If you are interested in getting stuff, I don't know.
yeah.
I always look for stuff when I'm at the shows. They're great.
One thing that I
Group.
always like too, which I think is really cool, is New Motion, and like in conjunction, usually like Permobile will like set up a little repair center, and all weekend long you can schedule to
Yeah.
like do some like minor repairs on your chair. They usually won't overhaul it or do anything significant that requires like major like insurance authorization and stuff like that. But for little stuff, super cool. I remember last time I went, the just it was like something that was annoying me, but my knob on my wheelchair had just worn out, and kept slipping off every time I grabbed the darn thing, and they just helped me get a new one, and I just thought it was neat. I think it's kind of cool. They'll like change your tires out and stuff sometimes, and, just stuff like that.
I think
This year,
frog legs too. Usually.
Sunrise is doing the that kind of clean and repair your chair, and Sunrise Medical, and every show every year, Frog's Legs has the
Yeah,
booth next to them is dedicated to wheelchair repair. Those are great guys there. So
I
yeah,
love
you'll
frog
have a couple.
legs. Yeah.
That was one of my like
Joanne.
most fun and unique experiences at the expo. Is I think the last year I was there, I got to talk to a product designer from New Motion, not New Motion, Permobile. New Motion does the repair, like the DME service, but Permobile like does the wheelchair design. And he was a product designer that was there at the expo, just experiencing it, talking to people, whatever. And he sat and talked to me for a while, just about like cool wheelchair ideas and stuff. And it was unique and cool, and just from someone who's fascinated by engineering and stuff like that, to be able to talk to an engineer that helps develop the products, and I'm gonna sit there and take notes like from me, and like ideas and stuff. I thought that was cool and like a very unique experience that like I probably couldn't find most other places other than somewhere like the expo. So being able to talk to people like that, being able to see different elements or parts of companies and stuff, products that we use every day, all day. It's a major part of our life. That can be a very unique and cool thing to go and experience. And talk to some of the guys that are part of it because it's cool. They're awesome.
You know, we have Winnebago is coming this year, which don't think they were in. No, they weren't in LA the last time we held LA. So they've got adaptive motorhomes
I
that
want to
are
check that out.
pretty insane, and you can go in them and check it out. There, it's an interesting thing. I saw somebody in the chat come up with kitchen utensils. I
Yeah.
love it when you guys give me ideas on what you want to see there. In the past, we've had a couple really cool companies that I'm thinking of. Tac had some amazing things. Easy Grip had some amazing things. They're not in the show, but after this, I'm going to get on the phone and call them and say, "Hey, you're being requested at the LA show," and
Nice.
see if I can get them to come
That's cool.
down.
So there's
Uh,
a gentleman, Julianne, called Quad Tools. Is it Shawn? He
Yeah.
makes some amazing reachers for quads. Also, he puts tongs on the end, or a knife, or stuff for gardening, and it's all
Oh, that'd be
by
great.
your Chino Desus.
Quad
Yeah.
tools. I
Yep.
will harass.
since we're just about halfway through the show, and Julianne, I hope it's okay. We're going to take a second to just thank our sponsor. Shout out Mobility Pros and Urology Professionals. If that's cool, just take a second.
Yeah.
To
Who
tell,
will also be at the
They
expo.
will be at the
They
it will
expo.
they
also
will
be at
be,
the expo, so it's on topic.
and they're
But
right across the way from us, like right down this way. So come visit.
awesome. But we just wanted to take a moment to give big thanks, a big shout out to two awesome companies, the sister companies, Mobility Professionals and Urology Professionals. Mobility Professionals are rehabilitation specialists that specialize in your independence needs when it comes to getting you the right equipment. Urology Professionals specializes in catheter supplies and urological supplies. They are awesome companies. They have very trained, skilled professionals that really have an understanding of what they're talking about, different kinds of equipment, different kinds of supplies. They're members of the community, they serve the community, and they're really awesome, amazing, supportive, cool people. So if you're in the SoCal area, please check out Mobility Professionals for your rehab equipment solutions. And nationally, you can use Urology Professionals if you are in need of urological supplies or looking to make a change.
Yep. And they make it really simple. You just got to give them a call. They have great customer service. All the information is down below, as well as all the Abilities Expo links too. Got a bunch of links in the description for you guys.
Yeah,
Gotta say
one of
one
the,
thing.
go ahead.
One thing. Booster fuels. There's this company. They will be at the expo, and out in front of the convention center, they will have a gas truck there. You can drive in. They will pump the gas for you, and their services. They'll come to your house and do this as well. But in front of the expo, look for the big truck pumping gas, and they're saying it's going to be the lower price than the gas stations right around.
Okay, very cool.
Interesting. That's
Uh,
cool.
As
uh,
someone was waiting in line for an hour for their gas yesterday at Costco, I was just like, man, if somebody can come to my house and put gas in my car, because it's getting harder and harder out there to find gas stations that will come out. And even when you go, you got to hit the right time if they're on break, or you always find a spot where you know where to go get gas and they can help you, but you hit that wrong time, it's just like it's just sometimes a pain in the ass and asking somebody. That'd be nice. That'd
make
be
the switch
awesome
to
to have
public
somebody.
transport. Let's go, Bobby. Start
What's
busting,
that?
taking the train. Come on. I'm just kidding.
Hey, I'm ready there. I looked up access services after that in my area. Like, maybe I need to
So
start
I,
just
I just
sitting on
actually
that.
had a meeting earlier today. I had to go out to LA for that Butterfly Enable LA service, which is kind of like an Uber service for people with disabilities in the LA area. And they're trying to
Yeah,
make a pretty cool system, but yeah, that transportation
And they
is,
will also be at the Abilities
and
Expo.
they will be at the expo as
Butterfly
well.
has a
Yeah.
booth too. Yeah.
that's good to know. And, just want to take a moment to shout out Butterfly for anybody in the LA area. If you're curious about a unique, different kind of transportation that's, there for individuals with disabilities, just Google it. You can Google two names, Butterfly transportation, but it's butter FLI instead of FLY. And then the Enable LA, you can just Google that as well. And yeah, it's supposed to be like similar to an Uber service where you just can get a more in demand ride. You don't need to sign up or be pre qualified for something like access is required. You have to be enrolled and go through this whole process to get involved in that. So it's kind of cool, and it sucks that it's only out here in LA. I wish they were like sponsoring programs like that all over, and I'm sure there are more than just LA. But they got to start somewhere. The seed's got to be planted somewhere, so the example can be set for other places. So it's kind of cool. So if you're looking at your local out here, give them a shout. Renee is in the chat saying she'd like to see some adaptive computer software and other adaptive equipment. Definitely. That's
Oh,
another big one for me. That's my favorite. One of my other favorite parts of the expo is seeing a lot of like the cool techie stuff. And there is usually some really cool stuff from like robot arms that like are supposed to assist you in eating and grabbing
oh, those
stuff
are
and
cool
all
and they
kinds.
work.
Yeah. But I'm a computer guy. Like software is my game. So I'm always looking for unique software that will enable individuals like myself, or even more physically impaired, to be more functional using devices like laptops and desktops and wheelchairs and phones and everything in between.
Well, we
Uh,
had Sony there. We had Sony there a couple years back, and I've been working on getting them back in. But their company, the word from on high, and their company is they are still concerned about COVID and are not allowing their people to come out and do live shows yet.
yeah,
Which is a nice segue to say that we're there. We follow the COVID guidelines laid down by the state of California. Essentially, whatever the LA Convention Center says, that's what we have to do. And right now, this moment in time, what the LA Convention Center is saying is you've got to show proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test within 48 hours, and you have to wear a mask. Now, we know that could change at any minute because we've seen it changing
Yeah.
over and over again. But for right now, that's what it is. And I think if you come prepared for that, then you'll be fine. We're also doing, you can, if you forgot or if you're in trouble or something, you can get a COVID test right at the venue there. I think it costs $50, but in case of emergency, that is also an option.
yeah. And it's usually pretty easy to get the test nowadays within 48 hours. Heck, I think you can even get some sent to your house if you sign up for it. Um, but that's
Wait,
awesome to know.
wait. Good point, Tom. It has to be a COVID test. If you don't have proof of vaccine and you want to show a negative COVID test, it has to be from a lab. If you just do the home test,
Okay.
I guess they can't prove it came from you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's very good to know. And that's kind of how it should be. Just to make sure no one's being shady out there. Because the name of
Yeah.
the game, the reason we can have cool events like these, we're all making our best effort to keep each other safe. And that's what it's all about. Is just follow some simple steps to ensure the health and the safety of everybody around. That's what we're all trying to do, and that's very cool that there will be COVID testing available on site. I was just at a concert this last weekend, and they had the same thing. Like it was a festival all weekend, but they had testing there just in case you weren't vaccinated and you were still trying to get in. You could get a test at the event and still attend if you were negative, which is cool.
Yeah, it
Um,
is.
what was I?
Cool.
I just had a
I can
question
say a
about my.
real quick shout
It
out
just
to Luis. Thank you for the super sticker, Luis. We appreciate you. Friend of the show, friend of Triumph.
Luis, big fan of the show. Thank you so much for supporting the show, man. We love you. We love you, Luis. Um, you're the man.
One of
Um,
the things Mickey mentioned, she's always trying to find an easy way to carry a plate of food on her lap for hot food and stuff like that. So that's one of the things I don't know if there's anything like that or specifically made for
Lap tray, Amazon.
lab tray.
You can, one of the things I love about the Abilities Expo is it's an inspiration, a lot of ideas. The only not to talk negatively about it, it's just kind of the nature of the beast. Um, the only negative thing I do kind of is hard is with medical companies and adaptive equipment companies is generally the stuff they're selling is a little higher in the price range than a lot of us can afford. I would love to like go with a bunch of money and just buy a bunch of cool stuff every year. But it's hard. It's easy to go and buy, a couple little things, which is usually what I plan to do. But the Abilities Expo can often be like a seed for a lot of ideas for, things I maybe want to work towards in the future. I see lots of adaptive devices, lots of different, tools and unique things like trays. And I mean, it just endless things. And I'm talking endless ideas
So
and cool.
what your game plan can be is you go around like Tom said and you look at all this stuff and you make yourself a list and say, okay, my priority is going to be to get that thing over there. And then you go over and right at the booth right next to Live to Roll is Help Hope Live, who can help you coordinate some kind of a fundraising campaign. You can go across the aisle and up, and you can go to the Triumph Foundation and apply for a grant from them. Up just a couple booths up from there, we have the Kelly Brush Foundation, and they give grants for outdoor sports equipment. So make yourself your list and then talk to some of the nonprofits that are there. If they personally aren't giving out grant money, they can connect you with the people who do.
And I'll just start a little piggy bank, start saving up, give myself a couple months to work towards something, that I see at the expo that, like is worth saving up for because, it'd be cool and or be fun to use or, make a difference in my life. And that's like one of the really amazing unique things is just having full immersion into a world of, different devices and tools and possibilities. It sticks with you for months and months following that can give you ideas and you come back around to later in the year, next year when you come back to the expo. So yeah, it's very cool. And just before we move too far along, who asked about the lap tray? Shawn,
That was
who was that?
Mickey. It was Mickey.
Yeah, just this is what I use. I just literally have it next to me. It's just a laptop tray. I got it on Amazon for my laptop, but it works really great for other stuff. Like I use it for food and stuff sometimes. It's got little like soft pads on the bottom. It's hard to see because it's a black background, but you can kind of see there's just like little bean filled pads on the bottom to distribute the pressure, not put too much pressure on my legs. And Amazon, $15. Super quick and easy.
And
Just
not
a
to
little
take away from
laptop tray.
business from the Abilities Expo, but you can always find those at Bed Bath and Beyond. I always see something like that over there.
Uh-oh. Sorry, you guys.
And shout out another one of our friend who was running the Go Butterfly thing today, Mark, who we've had on the show several times from Abilities. Um, he's made a few little adaptive products, which he makes all kinds of 3D adaptive printed stuff. He's made a couple like I'm not sure exactly what to call it, but it's like a quad. It loops into his thumb and then hooks under a mug, and he can carry a hot mug of liquid around without it spilling, and it kind of keeps it teetering and safe. And so yeah, there's all kinds of cool other ideas and stuff that are coming out with, and adaptive people just coming up with stuff like that. So and you can get
I
ideas
know
like that at the
Olivia,
expo.
Olivia asked about Mark being there, but I think Mark's a little ways from mass selling them, so hopefully.
Yeah, well,
soon.
he just wants to make sure he has all his patents and stuff in order before, that stuff
Yeah.
gets too thin in the open and someone tries to swipe his idea and sell it without him getting his foot on the floor. Like that's the world I envision, Olivia, is like every disabled person has like a 3D printer stock in their house and they have a need for an adaptive or assistive device. They can just boom, download the plans, hit the button, and then in a couple hours they'll have it, ready and waiting in their apartment. Like that would be so cool. And honestly, it's not too far off. I mean, if you had the mind to get yourself a 3D printer, which are relatively affordable, I'm talking under $1,000 for a good value one. Um, and you get yourself a computer, learn some AutoCAD, or just have cool people access like guys like Mark. There's so many awesome plans and like things you can download online and print out, ready to go. I don't have a 3D printer myself. I know a lot of people that do have a little bit of experience with it. um, Smart devices, accessible
Yeah.
technology. Who's going to be at the expo in regards to that? That's one of my favorite things.
There's a there's a company called Tech for Special Needs, and they do a lot of that stuff. They tend to focus more on how to adapt devices to whatever your disability may be. They're going to be there, and then we always have a just one booth that's like a series of tables in a U, and various products are set out there. It's not stuff for you to buy right then and there. It's the newer stuff just to say, hey, this is on the market now. This is available to you now. That's always a really interesting booth to check out. Um, and then I don't know if you guys have checked
Yep.
out wheelchairparts.net. They're sort of
Yeah,
a
I'm gonna see if I can put up
spin-off.
the map for you real quick, so you
Oh,
can.
good. Yeah. You can look this up on your own computer. This is the floor plan for Expo in LA, and where are they going to be? So, because those of you who've been to the show know it can be a little overwhelming. There's all these booths, and
Let
then
me
there's all
just.
these people saying hello to you all at the same time. I can see it,
There we go.
Shawn, but it's teensy. There we go. That's, well, still teensy. Um, better. There you go. Okay,
Uh,
so at the very bottom, that's where you come in between Sunrise Medical and Bronability.
and
Yeah.
oh,
And then right when you come in, the aisle right in front of you is the only aisle in the show that's 20 foot wide. Most of the other aisles are 10 foot.
whoops, sorry.
And it
Clicked on.
disappeared. That's okay. Um, so along that main aisle, a lot of people will go straight up that main aisle, and then in the back, you can see where it says that kind of greenish rectangle is the food, and then the light blue rectangle to the left of that is the events arena. And the events arena is where the dance and some of the other sports are. The food there, if you haven't been there, there's tables all around that you can buy your food and sit down at the tables. And then, thank you, you read my mind, Shawn. Then
Okay.
all the way to the right, you see that big yellow square that says Angel City Sports. Angel City Sports is they will have different sporting events all day that you can try yourself. There'll be demonstrations, and then you can try them. They'll have an obstacle course. It'll be very cool. And right below them will be the Winnebagos. Then, so after you're done looking at all the Winnebagos, go up and check out Angel City Sports for a while there, and then there down below the Winnebagos, there's Mobility Works with some vans. And up above Angel City Sports, I think Aero Mobility is coming in, and they'll have bunches of vans. So when I was in the market for a new van, I went to the expo and I just got in and out and tried every single one of them. If you're a driver, they'll take the driver's seat out for you, and you can see what the room is like, because there will be a bunch of different types. So when you come in, you will see the vans at Brownability and then Sunrise Medical there. as most of you guys know, is all different types of wheelchairs, manual and power. And the back part of their booth will be back part of the booth is where they're going to be doing the cleaning and the repairs. And they're super nice folks there. Let's see. Let's find out where Shawn's going to be. Scroll down a little bit, Shawn.
So
I
yeah,
can't find live to roll.
we're right up here.
Yeah, you're at 328.
Yep, right here.
Yep. And then Help Hope Live is right next to you.
Yep.
And then go across the street, and Triumph, I think, is in 537, if I'm not mistaken.
533 maybe.
543.
There we go.
Yeah. And go a little bit higher, Shawn. Scroll up a little bit. There you go. Now, 547, Wow Wonders on Wheels, they're going to be doing exercise dance classes throughout the day, just free for you to come on and boogie. That's the exercise class I do, and you'll laugh all the way through it. It's so much fun. And then the Kelly Brush Foundation that gives grants up to $5,000 for outdoor athletic equipment. They're right across from there. So that's going to be a very cool corner too. And then you're right by the food.
I always like that Metro makes a point to be there and demonstrate, just the ease of access, on their newer buses and stuff. And,
Yeah.
you talk about access services, which is the Metro is free if you are enrolled in access services here in LA, which is like also flipping cool and amazing. And an awesome little perk a lot of people don't really talk about for access. And it's one of my favorite ways to get around is the bus. Not like I got a little freaked out during the pandemic and stopped doing it as much, but it's one of the ways I can like reliably and independently travel, schedule my day, plan my stuff out, not have to wait like or rely on anybody else. It's a cool public service which I wish there was more of, like not only for the environment, for everybody else, but just for like to reduce the amount of cars on the road. But it's just cool, and it's an awesome, amazing service, which is actually a lot more comfortable and a lot faster and like cooler than people realize. So if you really are worth like would consider it like I'm a big proponent of it, and I just love that they make a point to be there and show off how accessible it all is because they really do make a
Yep.
point to make it accessible and easy for individuals and shares.
And then right next to that big old bus, you're going to see a 35-foot tall climbing wall. That's
Yeah,
been at every show for a long time. Mark Wellman he drives this climbing wall down. And so you've got this big plastic thing, 35 foot tall, and then able bodies can climb up it if they want to. And Mark's team is there belaying with all the ropes and such. But Mark developed when he was injured in a mountain climbing accident. He went back and climbed mountains again as a para because he invented this pulley system where you sit in this sling and you pull your body weight up and you just keep pulling until you get to the top. So anybody who wants to, little kids, whatever, can try sit in this sling and pull themselves up to the top and ring the bell at the top. And there's a great view of the entire show once you're up at the top of the climbing wall. So everybody should try that. Have you guys
it's
been up the
also
climbing wall? Any of you?
yeah, I have.
That's
I
one
was
thing
just
I
gonna
really
say
need to try.
Yeah,
it's an amazing,
not done it.
unique experience. It feels really
And you
cool.
and you're surprised how much it takes on your arm. You all of a sudden it's like, ooh, that hurt. So
Yeah,
and he's and Mark.
go ahead. Go ahead, Bobby.
Oh, I was going to say the one who invented Joanne was talking about. Mark, he climbed Yosemite Half Dome. So can you imagine that wall is what Julianne, 50 feet,
I have no
feet,
idea.
something like that. But he climbed Half Dome, so that's it's a pretty amazing feat.
I talked to Mark about some of his climbing adventures and, handling his bladder and bowel care while sleeping on the side of a cliff. Like just crazy, crazy, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff. But going up on the rock wall, um, first of all, how the hell are you gonna get me up there? And I was a little shocked and surprised at how easy the whole process was, and like how they kind of put you in this hoist, and you get to help pull yourself up the wall, which is really cool. Even if you do have limited upper body strength, there's ability for them to help you part of the way, so you still feel like you're working and you still get yourself up there. And like for me, being on the ground or being high up in the air are like two perspectives I don't get too often. So anytime I get those, it's always like it's such an awesome experience and fun time. Especially we have like 3 stories, and it's crazy, a lot higher
It
than you
is.
realize, and a fun perspective. So stuff like that can be worth the trip alone. Especially if you can get in free, climb the rock wall for free. Like the experience is there, and then you can enjoy a lot of other cool, fun stuff as well.
Yeah, get somebody to take pictures of you up there. I've got a great picture of me going up. Mark set up this pulley system so that now when he was climbing the mountain, he was lifting his entire body weight. The pulley that he's got at the expo, I think he's got it a ratio of like you're pulling maybe a fifth of your body weight at
Yeah.
one with each pull, or he can set it to easier. So that's how he manages to make it so everybody can get up there and do it.
Get up there.
I love rock climbers. They're like, such like physicists at heart, like, using all these pulleys and like cool, like Newtonian mechanics to make all this stuff work. And, like you said, make it easier to pull yourself up. I think that's so cool. Um, but I just talking about pictures, I just wanted to mention like I have an awesome picture of me and my sister. She climbed the wall next to me, just climbed it herself, and I
Oh,
like, pulled myself up there, and we're both at the top of the wall. Like we got a picture, like both of us like climbed up to the top, which is just really really cool. That we both can do something like that together. That is crazy.
That's what's cool. You can come with your family, do all kinds of fun stuff together.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I love just about like all these events. But you get to experience a ton of it at the Abilities Expos. You can bring your family and your friends, and at the Angel City Sports thing, they can hop in empty chairs and play right along with you guys. Same rules, same chair perspective. Which is like so much fun. Bringing your family, your friends into your world, showing off a bunch of cool stuff, seeing them get excited about cool technology and cool things can be really fun, positive, awesome experience as well. And there's no bar or hindrance to bring in your family and friends because y'all can get it for free anyway. So bring them on in. That's so cool.
And
it's
Um,
really interesting to see and hear the responses of some of the able bodies who come. The looking around, and what I hear over and over again is, "Oh my gosh, these people who are here have their lives are so much harder than mine, and I'm always complaining about my life, and they all got big smiles on their faces. I didn't know that there was so much stuff for them. I didn't know what they were facing. They go by a catheter table and they go, "What are these? What?"
yeah,
So it's an education, definitely. Oh, and free samples.
oh,
Most of the exhibitors have bowls of candy on their table or keychains. What else? Chapstick.
bring your
Uh,
bag because you're gonna leave with some swag. Bring your swag
oh yeah, we
bag.
give out the
There's
swag
plenty of
bag though. We
swag.
do have it's empty, but we do have the white Abilities Expo bag to give you so you can collect brochures and such.
Yeah, no, you end up leaving with so much information, so much educational information, a lot of stuff you can spend like seriously the next couple of weeks, like going throughout your leisure, looking back, getting back in touch with companies, talking about cool stuff, like looking at cool references and cool things. Ideas for trips, ideas for all kinds of things, stuff you won't even think of or imagine until you're there and you're seeing it, which is very very cool. Now, as we're approaching the end, I can't believe we already talked an hour away. I just wanted to go around to the guys and see Julianne, and I'll start. What is some of the coolest? What's one of the coolest things you've seen at the Abilities Expo? And for me, one of the coolest things I've seen at the expo, I'm a really big fan of like the standing wheelchairs. Not just the standing wheelchairs, but the ones that like the wheelchair, like the tires use, like the accelerometers and the stuff to like rotate up on top of each other and like stand the chair up. I'm really big. Like I'm just a big wheelchair nerd. I always think
That's
like
that's the
cool.
iBot is the
Yeah, the
main
iPod.
one.
Mm-hmm.
They will
I
be in New Jersey. They're not going to be in LA, but they're coming to New Jersey and Chicago, I think.
yeah,
So they're just setting up now.
I was just fortunate enough to see it in years past. But like I said, I'm a big wheelchair nerd, and I always think, combining the new cool technology in these, awesome devices we rely on so much for our independence is cool. So I like to go check that stuff out. Some of my favorite things every year at the expo. How about you, Shawn?
Um, well, actually, I actually remember I think it might have been my first expo when I first saw one of those iBots. That actually did completely like blow my mind. Like, and they actually had like a little stair demo there going up and stuff. Like that was years and years ago. But one of the things I saw a couple years ago, which I thought is really cool for higher level quads, and our friend Daryl actually uses them now, is those like eyeglasses that interface with like your technology around you. Like you can turn lights on and all kinds of different stuff. Like I don't know, that kind of blew my mind too. Just stuff like that. Like they have some really cool technology that's like and that was even a couple years ago. Like when like it's probably developed even more now. Just like all those little gadgets and stuff, I think are just awesome. Um, but besides that, really, it's the networking that I love. The socializing with everybody and seeing everybody. That's my favorite part about the event. But as far as tech wise and what to see and stuff, there's just so many cool little tech gadgets that are just like you would have no idea exist if you don't go check out stuff like this.
How about you, Bobby? That's one of your coolest things you've seen. I mean, you gotta
It's not really.
gotta dig deep here.
It's actually I don't have to dig deep. It's not really the product. It's actually some of the nonprofits. Not that they have nothing to sell, they have information to give, and though I always just find it amazing that I've never heard of you, and they're giving their information about how to go camping free, how to do this. We are part of the community to help out to do this for housing, and you're like, oh, that's who we need that in the community. So it's those kind of booths and the ones they don't even have a product to sell, they just have information to give. And kind of like, I mean, it's kind of like Live to Roll when we were there. And, now we have the t-shirts to sell, but really we have information to give. And that's about our channel and this podcast and what Shawn has been doing and what we've been growing here. And that's all we have to offer. It's not like we're bringing a sports equipment here. So it's just it's nice to see those kind of stuff. And probably because I've been around for 33 years, so the band stuff doesn't wow me. The standing wheelchair doesn't wow me. Um, Seeing a new sports equipment, meaning like a hand cycle that I might be able to use, yeah. Sometimes it wows me, and it wowed me about 4 years ago, and thinking like, yeah, but I don't have 10,000 to drop, and but luckily now there's, you know, people like Kelly Brush Foundation there, and that makes it so much easier to get a piece of equipment. And I can't wait to see them at the expo and say thank you because they just gave me a grant for that. It's that kind of stuff that I like seeing there. The stuff you just don't think about non-product wise.
Yeah. Now, Julianne, being on the coordinating side of things, I'm gonna just change the question for you, just a little bit different. considering we got a year of expos coming up. What is one of the companies that you're most excited to see this year? One of the expos um, coming up this year.
Well, there is a company called Exokinetics. They make this thing called the zine. You transfer onto it from your wheelchair and it hydraulically lifts you up. And then for those people who can move their legs, it it's supporting your whole body weight, but you can kind of walk around. Um, what at the last expo, the Dallas Expo, there was a young girl there. She was just about to have her 21st birthday, and she was able to get up on this thing. And for the first time since she was 5, she was able to stand up and be there with her mom standing up.
Yeah,
So they were both hugging, they were both crying, and she just, it was just one of those moments where you just go, I'm so grateful I was here for this. Just
yeah.
seeing stuff like that and seeing people's lives change just in an instant. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, that's awesome. Really excited to check out a bunch of cool companies just like that, and have a lot of cool experiences and moments yourself. And I just want to reiterate that Live to Roll is going to be at a few of these expos this year, not just here in our hometown, LA, maybe, but we're also going to be going national, doing some traveling. We're going to, just like I said earlier in the show, we're going to be in Chicago, we're going to be in Houston, and we're going to be in Arizona this year, and we're super, super, super excited. Like honestly, like things like I'm looking forward to most coming up this year is traveling to these expos and get to just like we were talking about all the whole hour, networking, seeing a bunch of friends, seeing a bunch of family, and hopefully get to meet some of you guys. Who I've only got to interact with, via chat or just talk to through these computers. It'd be really awesome to see some of the Live to Roll fans and to hang out, have an awesome time, and check out some cool stuff.
Yeah,
So
and
very,
we'll have a bunch of, like Bobby was saying, that one of the main things we did last time we were there was give out some free information on parking, like some signs for people that are double parking in California. So I'm gonna have to look up the codes for, or the, oh, we lost Bobby for a second. I'm gonna have to
so
look up parking codes for all the other states we'll be in, so we can make those for everywhere. But we also have the autonomic dysreflexia cards we're giving out and stuff. So those are just some free informational
yeah, we're
stuff.
gonna have stickers. We're gonna have merch. Like I said, we're gonna be doing some shows, interviewing some people from the expo, talking about some of the technology we're experiencing while we're there. Hopefully getting to know some people over the weekend. Maybe bring them over to the booth to talk about some of their cool stuff. We have some cool things planned, and we're gonna be documenting the whole travel experience too, and making a bunch of videos just showing how we make it happen, how we're gonna make it happen, how all of you guys can make it happen in the future. Love and appreciate every single one of you guys out there watching, commenting, being a part of this. And, I love you guys too, Shawn, Julian, and Bobby, for being here and helping make this happen. You guys are the greatest.
I'm so excited I get to see you guys at more than just one show. This is going to
I
be
know,
I
fun.
Julian.
know it's gonna be fun. We want to become part of the Abilities Expo crew, two core, like little travel core group.
It's a lot of fun. It's exhausting too.
Oh, I
At the
know.
end of the
It's
year,
gonna be.
I mean, I'm sure it is for you, Julianne. I mean, putting it all together, and Dave and Lou. But I mean, I remember at the end of the year, at the last one, going, flying around. You know, it's a lot of work, and especially on Sundays, you're starting to lose your voice, and you're
Yeah.
just like 4 o'clock has been just clean up, and it you know,
Oh,
but
I can
it's
guarantee I'm
rewarding
gonna
and it's a
need
lot
like
of
a
fun.
week recovery after every expo, at
Yeah,
least.
Well,
I just did 3 days out at Cali Vibes at a reggae fest for the weekend, getting ready for the Abilities Expo. If I survive that, this should be nothing. I'll be good.
Well, you'll learn there are some booths, like there's a hyperbaric chamber, Oxylife Hyperbarics, and they're at every single show. So you can
Okay.
get, they'll let you get in
That's
the
a.
hyperbaric chamber and kick back and
I like
relax
that
in there.
idea. I like that idea.
There's usually massage people there. There's always massage guns. You can go up to the guys and get them to, and the tens unit people. So yeah, during the show, you gotta just chill a little bit.
Plus, beautiful ladies. Shawn is single and also capable of massages as well. So anybody out
The
there?
quad massage.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
before we leave, Julianne, I know Cedric Bear, he's asking about getting it out to South Carolina, somewhere maybe in that area. And probably would you agree emailing Abilities Expo and asking about it so they can investigate more into it? Because I know you guys try to hit cities where more other cities can get involved as well, coming close. So maybe I don't know if you want to talk about that, about why it's not in
Yeah.
certain cities. And
Yeah, let me give you the basics. This is what I've learned talking to the owners, David and Lou. The basics are it helps to have it at you got to have a convention center that is accessible. In other words, not one that's on several levels with only one elevator. So that's the first step. Second step would be any kind of paratransit. We had a problem in Southern California because paratransit wouldn't cross county lines. So then and for a long time, we had our Southern California Expo in Orange County, and LA County people couldn't get there on paratransit. So check your paratransit, see how easy it is for people with disabilities to get to whatever site this is. And then third is how populated is the region. Those are the three main things that we look at when we're looking at different sites. And I don't know if you can put my email up there, Shawn. It's just J Dallara, DALLARA at abilities.com. You can email me with the information and I'll pass it along to the owners.
Yeah, we
I'll
can
put the email in
include
the
your
description.
email in the description below the video, just so anybody watching this back, you can find the information there. Or if you're watching soon, live, you can find it there soon when Sean updates it, which I'm sure will be in no time. And Hip Crip, yeah, gonna try to make the Shot Town Expo. Heck yeah, dude! Can't wait to see you. That'll be so fun. All
Yeah, man.
right.
Looking forward to it.
Sean, is there any other topics, any other questions, anything you wanted to touch on? I know we're kind of getting towards the end of the show here. Just wanted to make sure. Um,
Um,
I just looked through the questions. I think we covered all the topics.
yeah, I think
Um,
so.
and
I don't know if we had any other.
Julianne, if you have any last words out there you'd like to share with anybody thinking about going to the festival or the expo, and then just get your booties there.
Get your
Because it's gonna
booty
be
there. The shows start at 11 and go until 5 on Friday and Saturday. Starts at 11, goes until 4 on Sunday. Parking there's a bunch of parking. Unfortunately, it costs $20 at the LA Convention Center, and there's nothing we can do about that. Come early to get the best parking spots and just you got to experience it. Once you've been there once, I say in our community, it's like it's not if you're going to the expo, it's which day
Yeah.
or days. Some people come back all 3 days. I used to, and now, of course, I am.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I guess you just got to come down and experience it. Oh, pre register, please. If you go to abilities.com, that homepage says LA Expo register. Click on that. It'll make it so much faster for you guys to get through. Um, you'll just show your proof, your COVID proof, and if you're pre-registered, it's so fast to go on through. So yes, please.
You can register at the event. Just takes a couple
Oh yeah,
minutes, but I'll tell you what, I did it the last couple times on my phone, it takes like 30 seconds on my phone, and then it's like bing, bang, boom. I just roll it in there, and I'm good to go. It's super, super fast and super easy. So definitely make sure to take advantage of that. And yeah, if you guys are going to be in LA, seriously, we're going to be there all 3 days. No pressure to come out all 3 days, but just like Julian said, it's free to get in. There's no reason not to go at least one of the days. And once you go once, you're definitely going to want to come back and come hang out again. So make sure you catch the bug. Come on out to Abilities Expo and have some fun with us.
And it's worth staying a couple days, especially if you're coming from farther. You get a hotel or something. It's a fun time, especially after the expo. You can kind of still network and link up with a bunch of people and hang out. So
And
come on
And
yeah,
out.
you're right there
nothing more.
at LA Live. There's all
Right.
the restaurants and the bands and everything right there. It's a scene.
Yep.
It is a scene. Like the LA Convention Center is right in such a cool poppin' area,
Yep.
and nothing to take away from the expo, but yo, the hangout afterwards is always poppin' and always super fun. So make
And the
sure.
Lakers are playing on Saturday.
There you go.
Oh, nice. So it'll be going off on Saturday down
I'm
there.
gonna kick you
All
with
kinds of stuff
the
in LA.
legend LBJ and the Lakers.
We'll see if we can get snuck into the game somehow.
I'm going on the floor. I'm gonna be shooting shots on 3-point line. I'm gonna be making these guys look like fools out there.
And nobody would stop you. Nobody would dare stop you.
I don't think they would. Awesome, man. But yeah, that's. I think that does about wrap it up, I guess, for us. We're really looking
With
forward
that
to it.
image, we go.
Julianne,
With that,
love you. We really appreciate you coming back here, spending part of your day hanging out and chatting with us and sharing all
Always.
the information about this awesome expo. And yeah, love you. Appreciate you.
And I'll come harass you guys at your booth.
awesome.
I
We look
can't wait.
forward to it. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.